The Yellow Castle. One of the most important and recognizable LEGO sets of all time. Set 375 or 6075 marks the beginning of Castle. Kinda. Everybody has seen this castle, everybody knows about it. It's a classic. Okay, but is it actually a good set? It's the Yellow Castle. It's a stupid question. Okay, alright, instead of asking stupid questions, let's look at the set and try to figure out if the Yellow Castle is overrated or accurately rated. So, where do we start? The color, of course. It's yellow! For those who aren't aware, the color yellow was chosen because LEGO didn't want kids to build tanks or fighter planes, which are normally gray. As weird as it may seem, the color really doesn't bother me. I actually really like how vibrant and cozy this castle looks, and that's certainly due to its unique color scheme. The main structure is complemented by details in white, gray, black, magenta, and red, with some green base plates underneath. These parts certainly stand out and nicely break the prominent use of yellow. And those of you who are already familiar with this set will have noticed that I'm missing a few stickers on the building itself. Those stickers add another layer of detail and color. I think I should try to get my hands on some of them. Let's see. Oh my god. Okay. Screw that, man. Okay, my castle is missing a few stickers, but that's okay. Anyways, moving on to the parts that make up the castle. Later castles would use a lot of prefabricated wall pieces like these that I have in front of me. Once again, the use of these big parts could be to make it harder to build war machines, but at the same time they make the building experience a bit less interesting. On the other hand, the Yellow Castle only uses standard bricks to build up the structure, and I think this is a good thing. This makes the building process more engaging and more interesting since you have to build every detail on your own. Also, the use of simple bricks means that it's easier to customize and combine this set with other sets in your collection. Actually, if you'll take a look at the back of the instructions, it shows a couple of interesting alternate models which make great use of these simple yellow parts. This castle can be rebuilt however you like, no matter what style and what shape you want. Great stuff indeed. And now let's take a look at the play features. The castle can open up on all sides to get a better access to the interior. There's plenty of space to fit every minifig behind the walls, but there's no way for them to get there. There's no staircase or ladder. You can also place all your minifigs at the top of these towers to look around. This little section's a bit different, so I guess it could be a place to rest or hang out, but I honestly don't know. Here at the front, we have a winch that can lower the drawbridge. And that's about it. This castle is fairly simple in terms of play features, but I still think it offers a lot of options to play out some castle stories. It's also easy to add details or expand this castle to make it your own. And now I think it's time we take a look at the minifigs. There are 14 minifigs distributed among 4 factions. Once again, I have to point out I'm missing a few stickers. For the most part, these minifigs are original. They're the ones that my mom played with as a kid, which also explains why they're not in the greatest shape. Look at this guy. Yikes. This might seem a bit weird, but I think swapping these shields for the new printed ones from the Lion Knight's castle could be a worthwhile upgrade. I know they're not technically the same color. This is old gray, and that one's the new bluish gray, light bluish gray. But the printing on these shields looks really good, and they're quite a bit cheaper than the originals. The only problem is that LEGO only remade 3 of the 4 factions, so the red shield white cross faction will have to keep their old gear. Speaking of gear, we get a couple of short swords, axes, lances, helmets, and shields. There's no official name for these factions, so feel free to make up your own. Because of the green, I personally like to think of these guys as an early version of the Forestmen. It's an interesting way of looking at it, I guess. So, overall, is this set worthy of such praise? Well, it's hard to say. It doesn't seem fair to compare it to later castle sets, so the only real comparison should be made with sets from the same period. If we compare it to LEGO Town, I think the Yellow Castle holds up really well. There's plenty of interesting parts, plenty of minifigs, and plenty of possible play scenarios. The specialized parts and originality of this set make it a must-have set, and I can certainly see why it became so popular. On the other hand, if we compare it to Classic Space, I think the Yellow Castle comes up short. It really feels like more love was poured into Classic Space than Castle, and that's a real shame. In the following years, a couple more castle sets would be introduced to flesh out your medieval LEGO world, like this little minifig pack that I happen to own, but Castle is still far behind Space. I'm sorry to say this, but Space had better sets. I love the Yellow Castle and I'm so happy that my mother kept it for all those years, but personally, I think it's a bit overrated. Anyways, I don't have anything else to say, so have a nice day, and that's it.